If you didn't like it, tell an enemy. But anyway, without further ado, I'd like to bring out Mr. Rainn Wilson, Frank Darbo, the Crimson Bull. And the magnificent Ellen Page is ready. So we're answering questions now. Is that what we're doing?
Yes, we are. But we are just so excited to have him here. It's just like, it's just a real banner.
Every person has a camera in this audience. Look at that.
It is really amazing.
It's like a sieve. Except this guy, except this loser. He's miming a camera. Idiot. Sorry, did I interrupt? Please. No.
Please. Questions from the audience. Okay, the guy standing up.
Yeah, what a trip. Really enjoyed it. I thought it was awesome, quirky, and totally super. My question is for each of you, but let's start with Ellen, because I'm a Canadian. And I'd like to know if you were a genuine superhero and could choose your superpower, what would it be and why?
I'm going to repeat the questions for so the whole house can hear it. First of all, he said it was a super film, and he wanted to know from everybody if they had a superpower, if they were a superhero and could pick their power, what would they be, starting with Ellen?
I would love to be able to tolerate gluten. That is my answer.
All right, another question.
No, but you want to hear from all of you, no?
I know you had a special thanks to Rob Zombie.
Yep. Rob Zombie plays God in the movie. So when you hear the guy say, "Marry her," that's my friend Rob, yeah. Who actually was also is a voice role in Slither as well. So he's going to do it in every single one of my movies, he says.
I want to hear Rainn's superpower that you would pick, if you could pick your superpower.
What is mine?
I'm asking you.
Oh, you're asking me?
The question was everybody's.
Okay, I'm gonna be a dick. My superpower would be the ability to tell the truth, and that is a stupid fucking question.
No, mean. Everywhere we go, you're so mean.
I can be mean. I can be mean, but you know what? I'm sorry, my Canadian friend. I truly love you, and the response to the film tonight was great, and thank you all. But I get asked that question all the time, and it drives me crazy. But the only good answer I've ever heard was the ability to tolerate gluten. So, congratulations, Ellen.
Yes.
I really enjoyed the film. It was super. I was really into the production design. The animation was really fantastic. The only thing that I noticed is that the glam and falling thing was very sporadically put in the film. Why did you choose to do it that way?
Question has to do with the pacing of the animation in the film, which you like quite a lot, but curious.
If you're are you talking about the animation at the very end of the movie?
I'm talking about
Or
freeze frame whenever they fight.
The kabam,
the at the very
things.
end. I mean, just simply, we're one of the things that super is a big conversation. It's a conversation about a lot of different things. About conversation about morality, conversation about God and spirituality, conversation about how we put pop culture into our own lives. We hear about Batman all the time, and Batman's a guy who decides he knows what's right and what's wrong, and he goes out there and he beats people up. And this is basically the Crimson Bolt going out there and beating people up, and what it really looks like. It's pretty violent. And at the end of the movie, it's simply just the contrast between our pop culture idea of what a superhero is from the old Batman TV show and the more real version that we have here. That's all.
Balcony question.
Oh yeah, great, balcony.
What did you give special thanks to Jenna Fisher for?
Jenna Fisher.
I want to tell that story. May I? Shut up. No, I'm really a nice guy. I'm a nice guy. Ask my wife. By the way, it's my wife's birthday today. Wave your hand. So, I love you. But Jenna Fischer, this is a really cool story, and this really is exactly how it went down. I was on the set of The Office, and I was hanging out at the reception desk, and we were in between lighting setups or whatever, and I leaned on, I was eating candy out of the little dispenser, and Jenna Fischer was like, hey, you know, Rainn, I was speaking, Jenna used to be married to James, and they were very good friends, and she said, you know, I was talking to James the other night, and I was like, hey, James, you should do that movie Super. That was my favorite script that you ever wrote. And she said, and then James said, well, I've never had anyone that could play the lead. And Jenna was like, what about Rainn? I think Rainn would be great in it. And she said, oh, and James thought that was a great idea. Can I have him send you the script? And I was like, sure, it sounds really cool. And so she, right then and there, she texted James, yes, send Rainn the script for Super. Here's his email. And I went over to my Dwight desk, and I brought up Internet Explorer, and I went over and, it's not a Mac, there was the script from James, and I sent it over to the PAs, and they printed it out in the office, and I was reading it in my trailer, and true story, 22 pages in, I texted James, and I said, I'm in, I want to do this movie, my hands are shaking. And I was so captivated by the script. Because the first 22 pages you see, I mean, there's drama, and there's romance, and there's heartbreak, and the long prayer monologue to God, and the animation sequence, and the ultra-violence, and it was like, this is so cool! And, you know, I went in to my agents and manager. I have an agent and manager here tonight. Hi, guys. I love you, too. Not as much as my wife. You're fired, actually. You're both fired. And I was like, this is the next movie I want to make. I want to make this movie. And they were really, actually, very helpful. And so it started the whole process. So Jenna Fischer is the reason that this movie happened.
Yeah, it's totally true. I wrote this script originally in 2002. And you know, there was a time when I had some financing for the movie. I just couldn't agree with the people that were financing it on who would be a lead, because it needed to be somebody that was could handle the dramatic part of it, the comedic part of it, who was big enough proof you could think he was getting picked on by the guys at the diner, and was also a big enough, powerful guy that you could see him kicking ass at the end. And there was just nobody who I really thought would work, even though a lot of people wanted to play the role. And then Jenna just kept bothering me about it until finally she brought up Rainn, and it just seemed to make sense. So, and you did text me after 22 pages, but I also wrote you back and said, maybe you should get to the end, because there's a few things that happen, violence-wise, that are a little bit different than the first 22 pages. But yeah, it's all because of Jenna this movie exists. She just showed up on set. I don't know, Alan, how did you get signed on?
I got signed on because Rainn and I met on a movie we did. Rainn did a day on a movie called Juno that we did, and I mean, it's not like we got to know each other very well, but he's a he actually is a really great guy. And after Juno, you know, we'd run into each other, and there was just, I don't know, I always felt a bit of a connection, and I always loved seeing him, and we'd chat. There was chatting, and then one day Rainn emailed me and attached the script, and you know, asked me if I'd be interested to play this character Libby. I was already excited because, you know, I'm crazy about Rainn and a huge fan of his work, and I read the script and was so into it, and so into the idea of getting to play this crazy girl, and then I'm just really grateful that, you know, James and Rainn wanted me to do it.
I mean, we had a conversation. I remember it was the same thing at the agent's office. Like, well, you know, who do we get for Libby? We really need an Ellen Page type, and we made a list of all of the faux Ellen Pages out there. And then I was like, well, you know, fuck it, you know, I know her, I got her email address,